Hey, you guys, good morning. What is up? I am live. I am finally getting the hang of this live stuff over here, and I absolutely love it. I always say that my favorite part about what it is that I do is video, just so that you guys can get a chance to get to know me and I can get a chance to know you guys a little bit better. But what's more than that is I really love to share what it is that I do, what's working for me. I know there's so many other entrepreneurs and business owners out there, and I love the ability to learn out loud, right? And take what it is that I'm doing and I'm learning in my business and with my team and as a leader, and share that with anyone that's out there, just because I feel so strongly that if I can help, one person be successful in living their best life and doing what it is that they need to be to just be on their awesome path, I've done my job, and it just excites me to be here with you guys today. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy, what day is it? Wednesday. Even though we are out of quarantine, the kids are in school, I am still finding myself going, what day is it? Is it Wednesday? Is it Tuesday? I feel like life is just like that blur, right? Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Meggin Anderson, and I have been in the fitness industry now for 8 years. It's so crazy to think back. In 2013, I completely shifted careers. Before that, my husband and I owned our own brick and mortar business, and we had a commercial AV company in New England. We were based out of Massachusetts, but we serviced all of New England. So that is New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Vermont. And we also did a lot of different subcontracting jobs, New York and various places throughout our career too. I grew up in that industry. If you're thinking that's just so weird, how did you end up, installing and designing sound systems for bars and restaurants and direct TV and screens and things like that? I grew up in that industry. My dad had his own business when I was a little kid, so it was something that I knew a lot about, and was exciting at that point of life. So like I said, I've been in the fitness career now, in the fitness industry for 8 years. So I was at a point in life where it was just, I loved being a business owner. I loved having my own thing, but the business itself was draining, and I was burnt out and stressed, and it was just not my path, right? I feel like we get on, we think we know what we're doing, and we think we're heading in the right direction, and then something happens where you sort of feel like you're stopped or you're stuck, and you're like, okay, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. There are parts of the experience that have helped me and feel good, but you're trying to work it out. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of people, and I know my generation and older generations, kind of sucked those feelings in and just didn't tell anybody. And, leading to my discussion today about personal development, I do not think I would be where I am today had I not taken that path of personal development and changing my mindset about a lot of different things. So fast forward to today, like I said, 8 years later in the fitness industry is pretty insane. I started off as a Beachbody coach, and it's funny because you're like, how the heck did you end up here, right? So for me, I always liked fitness. I had always done my thing at home. I was looking for something to save me time. I found that through Beachbody. At first it was DVD programs, actually VHSs, then DVDs, and now it's a streaming program. But it just worked for me. I had 3 kids and this business, and it was a lot. So it just worked for me. And then, years later, years into it, I've been probably working out at home in my home gym for 20 years. But it wasn't until 2013 that I actually found out that there was a business opportunity. And so it was like taking the very best part of my favorite part of my day and creating a business out of that. And I literally was all in. I felt like my heart was all in from the get-go. I think that back then, network marketing and Beachbody and things of that nature were seen as this wasn't really a common, it was unconventional. So it's been a road to talk about. But today it's more normalized, right, to be in that type of an industry. And I feel like for sure my path is on this direction for a reason, right? And being a Beachbody coach, it was highly encouraged of us as a daily behavior to dive into personal development. Now, at first, and again, I'm dating myself probably by saying this, but at first I was like, you're kidding me, right? Self-help. I do not need self-help. Like thinking about Dr. Phil, Leo Buscaglia, like my mom had those books. I'm all set. I'm good. I have a good self-esteem. I like myself. I'm good, and I pushed it off for a really long time. But the longer that I got into my business and coaching, I wanted to be more successful. I wanted to be like those successful coaches. And so I would, watch trainings and follow them. What are they doing? What are the things and steps that they're taking? And they kept saying over and over that I would not be here without personal development. I would not be here without this. And that is for regards to developing their mindset and overcoming fears and beliefs and all of these things. And I was like, okay, well, maybe there's something to that, right? So in the beginning, I kind of got into it lightly, but then I started, it actually was an aha moment that I had. It occurred to me that this was something specific, right? So we talk about what is personal development, right? It's something that is applicable to you and it's personal, right? So I had actually stumbled upon a training from a male coach years ago, and I tell this story all the time because I think this is just, it really you go, oh, okay, as soon as you hear the story, right? He was a dad of boys expecting his first little girl. So he was reading a book about how to be a dad to little girls. And I thought, oh, because that applies to him and his circumstance right now. That's what personal development is. It's personal to you, what you're going through, what you need, right? So we don't all need self-help. We're not all struggling with, depression or anxiety or, whatever self-esteem, right? Or belief in yourself, or maybe we think we suck as a leader, right? There's all these different things that people struggle with. And maybe I'm not like her over there or him like over here. So I need to kind of work on what it is that I need right now. What it is that I feel like that I'm lacking. And it's funny because the more and more you go through and uncover stuff, the more you discover, well, I do need that. I didn't realize I needed that until I stumbled upon and listened to that, audiobook or podcast. Okay. So what is personal development? That's just exactly it. It's personal to you. It's personal to what you need right now. And since, again, 8 years into coaching, 8 years in my personal development journey, I would say, even though I lost 80 pounds and have been able to maintain that and keep that off for a number of years, my biggest transformation has been up here. I would not be the leader that I am. I would not be in the success area that I am with my business, and the mindset had it not been for that personal development and all of that, that journey, right? So I always tell my coaches, like, it's so important because you can't pour into others until you fill your own cup. Right. So by spending time with yourself, spending time with some of those words, gratitude, meditation, and filling your headspace with things that you need to live your better life, to just be better, to think better, to be a better leader, to be a better mother, like all that stuff. Right. And I also always equate this inside all of my coaching with my clients too, because they struggle to lose weight. And it's not just what you see at face value, right? They've got something else going on, and there's a reason why they're in the place that they are. And that has to do with their mindset, what they think of them, what they think of food, and so on and so forth. So personal development is a huge part of not just how I coach my clients, but my team as well. So it can be applied to you personally on a personal level to get better, and a business level to get better. I will say that, I also work on business development in that same way, right? And so leadership and things like that fall into that category. I think if you're struggling to get started with something like this, a good first start is to listen to audiobooks or podcasts. And so when I tell my new coaches when they get started, usually they are typically working a full-time job and they are starting coaching as a part-time scenario for them. And they're like, so short on time, right? They can barely get their workouts in. And so we talk about listening to podcasts and listening to audio, like while they're doing the dishes or they're folding the laundry or on their commute to work and back. And so leading up to the book that I'm absolutely loving so much right now. I'm so glad that I did the audio. I take my kids to and from school and to and from sports. So I'm always in the car a lot by myself and I can listen to something. I've actually been listening to this one with my littlest in the car too. And he's been having the giggles as well. I think it's super impactful too when the author narrates. I think that just adds a little something. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Jon Acuff. He's got a few books out there. His first one is, I think his first one's Quitter. So you can go and look him up. I stumbled upon his book called Start, Punch Fear in the Face, Your Road. It's punch fear in the face, do work that matters. And the whole book is about your road to awesome and what that looks like for you. And it's really given me so much food for thought, because for so long I felt, especially this last year, I feel like there's so much going on. We have so many ups and downs, and I'm always working on my business. And sometimes I feel like I have been head down for so many years hustling that now when I look up, I don't have any friends, I don't have any hobbies, and I'm hardly spending time with my children. And that's not why I started this business. That is not why I got into this business. I wanted that freedom of time. I wanted to be able to schedule my time. But more than that, I want to live life purposefully, right? I felt as though, especially when this opportunity came to me in the very beginning, that I was put here for a purpose. I kept asking, what is life for? What are we doing here? Where is things going? And, I think I've just been thinking about it all wrong. Like, I need to find my purpose. Like, what's my purpose? And you might be struggling with that too, right? You're going through classes or school or first jobs or even later in life, and you're thinking, what am I doing? Like, what is my purpose, right? And I think if you have your passion already and you have that like all set, you feel like you're good, like you are so blessed and you are so lucky, and you should just keep going with that, right? But for me, I feel like it's not really about finding a specific purpose. It's more about living life on purpose. And I really, really love that. And I think especially in our industry as coaches, we can get really caught up with the shiny objects and the comparison game. This one's successful over here, that one, and they're doing this, or they're doing reels, or they're doing live, or they're doing TikToks or whatever. And you're constantly trying to live up to this expectation, or that one's successful, so I need to do what she's doing. And instead of, or she read this book, right? And that kind of stuff. And instead of thinking that you have to, find that purpose with somebody else, you're finding yourself and being authentic to you and what that specifically means to you and your life. And I'll admit it definitely can be hard. It can be hard to stay focused. But I think that when you have your core values in place and you're living your life out on purposefully how you want to, then everything else can fall into place. He used this example that I shared with my team this week. And he says, you're reading, you find out this really successful person reads this book about how to be a fish. And it talks about the fins and the gills and how fishes act and how fishes look. And you're thinking, okay, I got to be a fish, but you're a bird. So I was almost super just blown away just right from that moment. I'm like, that's right. You can't expect to read a book about a fish and make yourself into a fish if you're a bird, right? And that makes just total sense. I think that, and so his other books too. So you got the Punch Fear in the Face. The second one I just picked up that I started reading this morning was Soundtracks. But hearing his voice and hearing him, he actually is from Massachusetts too, which is funny because we grew up in the same area. And so I am like laughing out loud half the time, and also really like, cool, he's from my area, references the area all the time. And I really am loving that too. But his humor is just so awesome. So Soundtracks is his new one. Jon Acuff, you can go follow him, but Start, punch fear in the face and find your road to awesome. I really, really can't highly recommend it enough. Start with 10 minutes a day, just 10 minutes a day, right? And it's going to totally impact the way that you work, the way you lead, the way you're with your team, your coworkers, your momhood, your wifedom. Every aspect of your life can change because of applying personal development. If you have any questions for me, I would love to be able to field those for you guys. Loving to share my knowledge of things that I'm learning that's working for me. So if there's something that maybe you're struggling with that you need some help with or would love more information on, I'm here to help. If you want, you can send me a message, you can inbox me, and find me over on Facebook and LinkedIn. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you again next week.